Welcome back, everyone. This is Frank Demora for the Last Chronicles of Planet Earth, and today is December the 12th, 2012. This is actually part 2 of the broadcast that I'm giving from my YouTube channel for today. And as you see, as you scroll down, I covered this morning the prophecy about the birds and the bird flu, what's happening with the bird flu, and also I gave you a look at the Psalm 83 prophecy. But right now I want to get into some prophecies here, and I'm going to bring into focus what these three pictures mean. It says, can you figure out what these three pictures have in common? Many of you probably won't be able to, but I'm going to connect the dots for you. And if you will, I have the scriptures up here for you. You could take the time to read them. But one of the most important scriptures that I believe that talks about the Antichrist ruling the world and controlling the economic economy is found in Revelation 13 verses 16 through 17. Now when you read this, you're going to find out that Jesus tells us that this Antichrist is going to make an attempt to put a mark in everyone's right hand or their foreheads. And if you don't have it, the Lord shows us that without it, nobody will be able to buy or sell anything. And that right there shows us that the Antichrist locks you out of the global economy unless you have his mark. Now, Jesus talks to the apostles, and Timothy accounted one of the major things of importance. And he says, but if any provide not for his own, and especially for his own house, he hath denied the faith, and is worse than an infidel. So we see that abandonment issues, God, the Lord Jesus Christ, sees these as very critical. And when he says that you denied the faith and you're worse than an infidel, that's pretty low. And of course, I'll let you read 1 Timothy chapter 3 verses 1 through 5, because it gives the characteristics of the people living in the last days. And it says, right out of the chute, there will be terrible times in the last days. And we're seeing these terrible times all around us right now. And you'll see without love, without people that are unholy, and obviously lovers of pleasure more than rather than lovers of God. And also when you take a look at this, you're going to see that to be lovers of money. So let me get in now to connect the dots for you. Here's the first article. Children are being abandoned on Greece's streets by their poverty-stricken families who cannot afford to look after them anymore. Youngsters are being dumped by their parents who are struggling to make ends meet in what is fastly becoming the most tragic human consequence of the Euro crisis. Now, the Euro crisis, many of you may not know what this is. The Euro is the coinage used by 17 European Union nations. These are the nations in Europe. And by the way, they're the nations that used to be in the old Roman Empire. So we know that Jesus, when he's talking about these specific nations, is referring to these nations from the old Roman Empire that he said would be around just before he came back. So we know that the Euro is in crisis. Now, you'll read here about the pharmacists having problems getting aspirin to people also in Greece. And this is a product of what's happening with the economy. But I'm going to get a little bit more about that in a second here. It says, further evidence of Greeks feeling the pinch of austerity measures is the lack of aspirin and other medicines now available in the country. Pharmacists are struggling to stock their shelves as the Greek government, which sets the prices for drugs, keeps them artificially low. This means that the firms are turning to sell the drugs outside the country for a higher price. Now, we know that just follow the money, because the Lord told us in the last days people will be lovers of money. Businesses are crude, man. They don't care about people anymore. It's all about the big buck. And it could be the buck in the United States, it could be the euro in the European Union, it could be the whatever currency. We see that there's people are just becoming enticed with watching out for themselves and lovers of money. So it says leading to stock depletion for Greece. Now I'll let you go on to read this. There's some more information about it, but I just wanted to let you know what was taking place in Greece, because it is a problem, and Greece is in the process of falling apart. Now let's go down and connect the dots here. Here's a headline: Financial squeeze sees 475 dogs abandoned every year. The number of dogs being abandoned as strays has soared to its highest level in more than a decade, with the recession and the growing use of animals as fashion accessories or status symbols being blamed for the increase. So we see children are being dumped in the streets, just the way we've been seeing dogs being dumped in the streets because of the economy. Now, I didn't put these articles up, but there's many articles. You can do a Google search for yourself. In the United States, because of the home debacle since 2008, we've seen millions of families just abandon their homes, and they left the dogs. They just let the dogs go, and it's a big problem in the United States now. And now we're starting to see similar patterns with people who are under problems or have problems. Instead of taking their dogs, they're leaving the dog or their children on the street. And this is beyond reason as far as I'm concerned. But it shows you that the world is in dire straits, just as the apostle told us there would be terrible times in the last days. And you can trust the Lord when he said in Mark 13:8 that these problems were going to take place as a woman with birth pangs, and that's what we're seeing. They're getting much worse. Now, we know that the world system is going to collapse. We see that taking place. One of the things that I keep writing about in my post, and I've warned about in my book since, and even been warning since my ministry began in 1977, that the dollar would die, and when it did, it would give rise to the Antichrist. But this is a particular article here. I'm not going to read it all. I'll let you go to the link once you get to my website, so that you could read it for yourself. But let me just give you the gist. It says the days of the U.S. dollar as a global currency with its overarching charisma as a brand to measure everything from hamburger prices to the trade between remote nations could be on the wane, says the Nobel Prize winning Joseph Stiglitz. Stiglitz expects a new world currency system. And I've been warning about this new world reserve system. I believe that it will be the system that will be part of the path that will bring on this or the ability for one man to stop people from buying or selling in the last days. It's not by coincidence that the United States is in dire straits, and the European Union, two of the major nations in the world. Now, there are also warning signs that the euro is on its way, and it may even collapse. And you'll see from another headline, and again, I'll let you read the article by going to my site and clicking onto the link. Fitch warns of catastrophic euro collapse. The European Central Bank should ramp up its buy-in of the troubled eurozone debt to support Italy and prevent a cataclysmic collapse of the euro. David Riley, the head of the foreign rating for Fitch, has warned the end of the euro would be cataclysmic. The euro is a reserve currency, Mr. Riley said overnight. What would that do in terms of financial and political stability? It is hard to believe that the euro will survive if Italy does not make it through, he said, adding that while many saw Italy as too politically and economically important to allow to fail, one might also argue that it is too big to rescue. And of course, the same article talks about Greece being the joker in the pack. Fitch has warned that an economic outlook of the Eurozone has darkened further in recent months and said that there is a high chance it will downgrade Italy, Spain, Belgium, Ireland, Slovenia, and Cyprus by 1 or 2 notches by the end of the month, this is showing where we're going. Not only is the euro look like it's going to burn up and the dollar is going to burn up, but these are signs that this is where we're headed, to this prophecy, where the Antichrist will control the world system. Now, not only is the United States and euro in problems, you'll see that this headline, China collapse will bring economic crisis to a climax in 2012. A looming hard landing in China will bring the financial and economic crisis of the past 5 years to a climax in 2012, one of the City of London's leading analysts has warned. I'm not going to get into the rest of this. You could read it for yourself, but there are indications and what's happened here, all of these nations are tied together in the global economy now. And one of the nations, all it's going to take is for one nation to go down, whether it's Greece, Italy, Spain, as they mentioned. All it's going to take is for that one nation to go down, then you're going to see the domino effect. And you will see, if you're left behind because you did not receive Jesus as your Savior, you're going to see the fulfillment of this Antichrist prophecy, and this man controlling the new system by the system of putting a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. It's not that far off. All it's going to take, everything can happen very, very fast. If either of these economies collapse, it's going to happen very, very fast. So if you like more information, please, again, just go to my website, click the link below, and you'll be able to download all the documentation showing you all the warnings about the last days and how about the many nations calling for a new system, a new reserve currency, showing that it's not going to be the dollar, that there is a chance, I believe, that it may even turn out to be the Iraqi dinar. And a lot of people will think that I'm crazy from saying that, but considering the fact that Iraq, which is the old Babylon in the Old Testament, Babylon is going to be rebuilt again. We will know it's going to be the center of commerce, and I believe that Iraq, because of its major power with oil, and many, many nations are moving into Iraq, even now that they have problems, we believe that Iraq will be rebuilt, and that prophecy will be finished as well. So, with that, thank you for allowing me into your home today, and please give me a few minutes to upload both of my videos before you go over to my website so you'll be able to click to the links to read all the news there. Thank you so much.